Ever since I was a little kid, I always wanted to fly. I can remember going to air shows with my grandfathers and growing up with their model planes hanging from my ceiling. When I was 15 years old, I decided to do something with my passion and began flight training. I first flew a plane solo the week I turned 16. For about 4 months, I was legally able to fly solo, but still couldn't drive solo. I remember taking off on my first solo flight, looking down at the roads I still couldn't drive on. After about a year of flight training, I got my private pilot's license after turning 17. When I began my flight training, I founded the website From Private to Professional Pilot. It's been a way for me to write really transparently online about my flight training experiences, both the good and bad, for student pilots to read. I've included tips and advice to explain to student pilots some of the things that aren't so easy to learn when you're starting flight training. I remember waking up for the first time to emails from kids from around the world asking me, of all people, for advice. It was extremely humbling to have people reaching out to me, and it made everything I was doing worthwhile. For me, flying is a time when I have the rare opportunity to leave everything on the ground behind for a few short moments. Aviation has shaped me into who I am. I've loved every minute and challenge of it. My name is Swayne Martin, and I'm a pilot. If you could do anything, what would it be? When I was young, I received one of the greatest pieces of advice that I've ever gotten. A close relative of mine told me to think of 3 passions and consider each one deeply, and try to imagine a career that involves 1, 2, if not all 3 of those passions, because one day, when you look back on your life when you're older, you'll be happy and proud that you followed a passion and a dream. Because let's face it, the lives we live, the majority of our lives are going to be spent in the working world, and that's really important. And for that, would you rather spend that time doing something you love, or would you rather fill the gaps in that time with what you love? It all boils down to what your personal definition of success is, because there are 2 mainstream definitions. 1, the attainment of wealth, honor, position, and 2, the accomplishment of one's goals. It all comes from what motivates you. Is it wealth? Is it recognition? Is it family? Is it relationships? Is it the work itself? None of the answers are wrong. In fact, all of the answers are right. And that's something that's really cool. When I was younger, I was really impacted by a speech made by Alan Watts. If you look up on YouTube, "What if money was no object?" you'll find it pretty easily. It basically gives the idea that if you had limitless amounts of money, endless amounts of money, what would you be doing with your life? And just to step back from that, money is an object, and it does matter. But for us, if you know what you'd be doing with your life, if you had limitless amounts of money, then you can base your life on something really, really interesting and what you're passionate about. For me, aviation means the world. And as you can see in the video, it's something that I've been doing for the past year, and pretty much ever since I was a little kid. It's something that excites me. Every time I get in the plane and strap in, it's something unique and different every time. The idea that I can get in a plane and leave behind the craziness of junior year, because we have college coming up, it's absurd. And so that ability is really, really cool, and I take it for granted all the time. And without the people around me, it wouldn't be possible. Without this community, so many of the people in this room, I wouldn't be standing here right now. But the main point of this is, while flying may not be for all of you, the opportunity to pursue something that you're passionate about is for all of you. And that's something that's really important to me, and I hope that you take it away from this talk. The idea that one day, somebody might be paying me money to do something I love every day of my life. is really exciting because I want a job that allows me not only to do what I love, but allows me to step back from that and be able to leave the job behind. It's why many medical school students choose to go into emergency medicine. They're highly paid hourly employees, and when they're not on the job, they don't have as much going on. Pilots, they only work when they're on board the plane. So outside, many have other careers, other hobbies, other passions, and that's something that really motivates me to get into flying in the first place. So if you know what's inspiring you, beginning is the hardest part. When I began flying, no one in my family flies, so I didn't really know where to start. The first people I reached out to online largely gave me negative feedback, to be honest. And it was something that was really difficult, but I use it now as motivation to keep going. Along the way, you need to be transparent about what you're doing, because without other people's help, you can't do it. You will not get the support from other people, and they will not gravitate towards you if you're not being transparent about what your goals are and what's motivating you. You have to be transparent about it. And it's not always easy to do. For me, thousands of people know exactly who I am, where I'm from, even the school I'm from, friends of mine, everything I've done. The good days, the bad days of flight training, I've written about so many bad landings, it makes my head hurt. Because there are bad days, but that's one of the cool things about flying. If there were not bad days, it wouldn't be a challenge, and I wouldn't love it. Because without that challenge, there are no good days. The really scary part about all of this is that one day, I might not be able to fly. I could lose a medical certificate, which would permanently disqualify me from being a pilot. And that's something that's really scary. But what's even scarier is the idea that if I don't give it my best shot, I have a 100% chance that it can't work. And that is scarier than the alternative. In a few years, when I come back to St. Christopher's for 5-year, 10-year, 15-year reunions, I will have friends, many friends, who will most likely be more financially successful than myself. And that's okay. I've just chosen not to base my life on that dimension. My name is Swayne Martin and I'm a pilot. What if you could do anything? Thank you.